Thank you very much, Michael. To round this out, we have one final presenter that I have the pleasure to introduce to you, and that is Paulien Greelins from the Netherlands. I hope I'm almost pronouncing the name right. She's the head dramaturge of de Toonelmakerij, which is an Amsterdam theater company for young audiences, and we will learn about the work that is being done there. She's also, let me just briefly mention that, the vice president of the ETC. She will speak to us about two productions, about Snowflake and the sequel Rabbit Hole, and I think she's also gonna give us a sneak peek when we might get to see some of the work that she will be presenting. Paulien, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I start my presentation with briefly introduce the theater company I work for. That is de Toonelmakerij, that makes high quality professional theater shows for children, teenagers and young adults. And in all our activities, our starting point is the world of young people. We are based in Amsterdam, a city in which half of the population has a migratory background, which we see reflected in our young audience. And in that way, I believe the Toonelmakerij already performs for Planet B's ideal theater audience, a diverse and inclusive one. Namely, in order to start over and do better, we must dismantle the neoliberal system that is currently ruining our planet A. That same system is also one of colonialism and white heterosexual male supremacy, which makes this not just an ecological, but an intersectional issue. In order to make our planet B a more sustainable planet, it also has to be an inclusive one. And on that planet, the stories told in the theater should be as diverse as its audience. And this is exactly what the Toonelmakerij aims to do. And for that reason, we have a strong focus on new writing. We give space to marginalized voices in our society, starting with that of young people. And for us, diversity and inclusion start there, with the stories we tell, with the narratives we give space to grow. Stories told from a multitude of perspectives would enable Planet B to become more livable, not just for the people who are already doing fine on Planet A, but for everyone. And in order to create this ideal Planet B, the current state of the internet should also be revalued. This concerns the Toonelmakerij wholeheartedly, because the online and offline lives of today's youth are hardly separated anymore. The online world is two-faced in nature. The internet can be seen as a place for connection, but it's also riddled with isolation, bullying, and radicalization. Even more so when we talk to young people about this issue, they often say they would prefer a world entirely without the internet/social media. So if it were up to our audience, Planet B wouldn't even be a technological space to begin with. But that might not be the only way. Both the internet and other new technical possibilities could also very well give way to innovation, new activism and development. In its current state, however, they clearly do not. And in order to address this issue, we decided to make a diptych, of which the first part with the title Snowflake has already been made, and the sequel Rabbit Hole will premiere in June 23 in the deep space of the Ars Electronica Center, and also as part of the Acute project. Now I first would like to show a trailer of Snowflake. It's in Dutch, but it's just to give you an impression of our work. Afterwards I give some context, and then I will address where we stand with the sequel Rabbit Hole. So please, the trailer.
Laten we gaan voor de 2011 likes, oké?
Wie gaf de opdrachten?
Red Rabbit.
Ben jij Red Rabbit?
Tuurlijk niet.
Is je moeder ergens in behandeling?
Wil ze niet.
Hoe kwam je met hem in contact?
Wij allemaal op dezelfde manier.
Je zocht hem zelf op?
Ik heb je hulp nodig.
Ik ga iets doen, het is heel erg eng vind.
Waarom deed je mee?
Ik was boos, ik was bang, ik was verdrietig.
En dus?
Dacht ik niet na, oké? Ik post geen oppervlakkige shit.
Ik ben geen snowflake. Druk.
Zoek het uit.
Hou je bek, joh.
Ga je het nou opnemen voor het meisje dat je voor lul gezet heeft?
Had moeten stoppen.
Maar?
Stop er niet. Die gast weet dingen van mij die niemand weet.
Je moet grenzen stellen. Laten voelen dat je er bent.
Die foto heb ik nog nooit aan iemand gestuurd.
Of blijven jullie liever voor altijd een snowflake?
Wat zei die dan?
Dat we minder alleen zouden zijn.
Thank you. So in 2019, the Toonelmakerij produced this production Snowflake, a topical thriller about 8 teenagers and their online lives. And Snowflake touches upon many themes, including sexting, catfishing, coming out, and privacy. And under the direction of Paulien Greelins, 4 actors playing 8 school pupils switched in lightning pace between their roles and between the real and the virtual world, often within the space of a single scene. And in the process, the projection screen is soon filled with 100 or more photographs, chat messages, memes, and viral videos. It's a clearly relatable image for the adolescents in the audience. However, the adults, their parents and teachers, were shocked to find out what actually was going on in the online world of their children. And one of the ingenious aspects of Daniel van Klavere's script for Snowflake is that it reveals human failings in the real world while pointing to the dangers of its digital counterparts. So the problem is not the smartphone, the tablet, or the laptop. They are just symptoms at the most. But while the play's subject and form are modern, at its core, Snowflake continues the Toonelmakerij's long tradition of producing work that encourages reflection but never moralizes. So now on Rabbit Hole. In June 23, the new theater show Rabbit Hole will premiere in the deep space of the Ars Electronica Center. And in this production, we continue our research into the complex online lives of youngsters nowadays. The text will be written again by Daniel van Klaveren, and we will explore a new dramaturgy whereby the use of new live technological means is integrated in the storytelling. So the show will explore how the dynamic of online behavior, often other than the egalitarian promises of the early internet, is responsible for polarization, bubbleism, QAnon, extremism, racism, and violence, all starting in seemingly trivial small antagonisms hidden behind tiny mobile screens. Rabbit Hole aims to integrate the intrusive feeling of the online world in the scenography of the theater space. We want to translate the experience of being sucked into your phone into an immersive scenography, making use of the full potential of the 8K venue. Rabbit Hole also takes our cross-media dramaturgy to the next level. Conventionally, through their phones, the audience can engage with the main character who has deterred in social isolation and lives exclusively online. Conventionally, you would have to turn off your phone when visiting a theater, but we want to explore if it's possible to include the smartphone in a performance instead of competing with it. In conclusion, Rabbit Hole will be a technological advanced performance, but ultimately driven by its content, rooted in urgent issues in the real world. At the end of the show, the main character finds himself in a forest that seems as real as it can be, but is technologically created in the 8K venue. The forest represents what Planet Bay should be all about, a place in which we can feel connected to the earth and to each other again. Instead of thinking of our planet as something that was created for us to consume, we should realize we are part of something greater, a planet of plants and animals to whom we belong, a planet on which we simply get to live. Thank you.